With the voices that have a dominating influence on young men's minds today, the gap of understanding between men and women seeming greater than ever, how to be a gentleman in 2024 could look like a confusing dilemma. On one hand, the gentleman has some traditional characteristics like chivalry, seduction, and assertiveness. But what some men consider to be traditional values also clash with the rights and views of most modern women. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the balance that I believe you need to strike to be the perfect gentleman in 2024. I think there's a huge wave of women who are crying out for men who have a blend of traditional chivalrous qualities but also a modern perspective. So let's talk about how to do that right now. There are many traditional values that a gentleman should still embody. It's still good to be the guy who takes initiative in your relationship and your dating life. This involves planning dates, creating excitement, and wooing her with traditional chivalrous acts. Most women also want you to take initiative and plan the date, find a good restaurant that she will like and offer to pick her up. You might be asking, why should I be chivalrous in 2024? After all, we live in an equal society where a woman does not need the door opened for her any more than a man does not need the restaurant reservation made for her. And I've been on dates where the woman probably earned more money than me. Only once. But here's why we still need to go out of our way to be chivalrous as young gentlemen. To get something worthwhile, you have to take a little bit of a risk and go out of your way, even if it doesn't always pay off. These chivalrous gestures are small acts of sacrifice that show her you value her time and her presence. Regardless of how society changes, these acts never become redundant. Women also make acts of sacrifice in dating in their own way. And as a modern gentleman, I think it's important to understand what these are. Here are 3 sacrifices women make in dating that a lot of guys don't understand. Firstly, women will invest a lot of money into their appearance before the date with makeup, manicures, and clothing. But more importantly, dating is risky for women. They are trusting you when they get in your car for the first time or sit at that table with you in the restaurant. You need to make her feel safe. Dating is also emotionally exhausting for women. I have a female best friend whom I used to live with, and I saw how drained and upset she would be when a date didn't go well. So if you want to be a gentleman, you need to take this burden off her as much as you can. That means treating her with the utmost respect and chivalry, regardless of how successful the date ends up being. And what's more, so many women have a princess fantasy of wanting to be courted and wooed, and they are completely in their rights to have this. Going on a date with a woman and everything that could lead to is one of the most beautiful and precious things in life. So you need to treat that moment and that opportunity with all the importance it deserves. If you don't feel like you can put yourself out there and treat a woman to a fantastic dating experience, then you just need to restore that belief in yourself. Otherwise, you're going to make the women that you date feel unfulfilled. But a gentleman understands the difference between chivalry and what is known as game. Chivalry is honest, and it's clear what your intentions are when you do a chivalrous act like holding open the car door for her. Game is not honest. Game is deceiving, and it makes it hard for her to read your intentions. So while chivalry is about being the most gentlemanly version of yourself, game is about trying to trick her into thinking that you're somebody else. So if you want to be a modern gentleman, embrace traditional chivalry and enjoy flirtation, but don't use copy and paste techniques or cheesy pickup lines that you think will impress all women. There's another side to being a modern gentleman that I think a lot of guys are struggling to understand, and that is keeping an open mind to modern points of view and what's important to women. Now, you can still be a full-on right-wing conservative and still be a gentleman, but you cannot call women hoes, you cannot shame and degrade women, and you cannot consider women to be on a lesser intellectual level than you and still be a gentleman. When it comes to issues such as gender roles, abortion, OnlyFans, I don't think it's necessary to have one point of view or the other. And it's okay to have your own perspective on these things. But gentlemen and ladies can politely disagree while still respecting each other's viewpoint. And you have to appreciate that these issues directly affect women, not men. Now, in the early stages of dating and interacting with women, I don't think these are good topics to connect on. But it will be important to understand each other's point of view and either agree or respectfully disagree in a more long-term scenario. But I have to warn all the guys who buy into the red pill community that this kind of nonsense is completely repellent to women. The majority of women do not want to date somebody who is into this community, because they see the misogyny and they see the negativity. It's an immediate red flag to them that you might not respect them and you might not value them as much as a man with a more modern perspective would. And honestly, this cult of online guys who go around calling themselves alphas is such a joke, and that's how 90% of women will see it too. So be your own man, have your own views, and have mature conversations about these topics when the time is right. Well, the deeper you get into a relationship, the more these things will come up. Personally, my girlfriend and I don't always see eye to eye on political or social issues, even ones that are important to her. But that's actually okay, because we're still able to respect each other's opinions, and we actually enjoy discussing these topics maturely. And I believe the same applies to conversations with other gentlemen. Any intelligent man should still be able to be friends with somebody that he disagrees with. So while aligning yourself with issues that are important to most women can be very beneficial, it's not essential to being a gentleman. There are also women out there who don't share a modern perspective on gender issues, but even these women would never want to be disrespected or degraded by you. And personally, I don't understand why you would want to make a long-term partner of somebody that you believe is on a lower level of intelligence than you. In today's society, there are a few different paths that a man and woman can take in terms of the structure of their relationship. For example, you may decide that you would rather be a financial provider in your relationship and that you're looking for a woman who would like to be more of a homemaker. That's okay, and there are still plenty of women out there who want that, but you're no less of a gentleman if you decide that you want to be in a relationship where you both have successful careers and you both contribute financially. It's totally dependent on the dynamics of your relationship. However, it doesn't matter how much of a provider you are if you treat your woman as lesser than you and you don't show her respect. That is not a gentleman. I do think that increasing economic equality is decreasing the requirement to be high status or wealthy in order to be a gentleman. It's more about how you carry yourself, the little gestures, and your wider belief system and respect for women. The crux of this video is pretty simple. If you want to be a modern gentleman, embrace the traditions of chivalry, but keep an open mind and a modern perspective. Women are crying out for men who have traditional chivalrous values, but also an egalitarian perspective on gender issues. These two attributes can be in complete harmony with each other, but it seems like some guys are struggling to strike this balance. But once you open up your mind, it's easy to understand why women are seeking this balance of traditional and modern qualities. And I think it's an enjoyable position to take that will lead to an emotionally fulfilling experience in dating and relationships. Guys, let me know in the comments one thing that you believe to be an essential part of being a modern gentleman. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.